Hi people, just to add to a certain concern or video that served as a rebuttal earlier regarding what I said pertaining to the Book of Enoch and Sirens. When you actually do your research properly, you'll understand and see that the term siren is twofold. Yes, there is a half human, half bird figure under the definition of sirens. Then there's also another depiction which is called, and the first one is actually according to Greek mythology. If you actually check the origins of that definition or depiction, it's half human, half bird, according to what you said in the video, which is correct, but you left out the other side, the other part, because there are two depictions: half human, half bird, plus a mermaid or siren. But over time, the descriptions of what's classified as a siren were actually a humanoid figure that used to serenade sailors and sing and woo its victims into the waters. Now, this changes the narrative according to what Hollywood has tried to cover up or misinterpret by giving us mermaids that look very pretty and beautiful. This is not the case with sirens. With sirens, they actually look more scarier and look more aquatic, as if they are some evolutionalized aquatic beings. That's the true definition of a siren. Now, as we, just to indulge or go further on this topic, we are referring to aquatic beings. And it's interesting that when you read the Bible, it mentions this in many regards. The canon, which is the Bible that consists of 66 books of the Bible, does refer to, number one, the Queen of the Coast, or the Queen of Babylon. Then number two, it talks about the Great Harlot. But before we go there, let me just conclude and summarize the Book of Enoch issue. You said there's no scripture indicating that there is an account where Enoch depicts mermaids in the Book of Enoch. Please see Enoch 1 chapter 19 verse 2, starting with 1 and 2 up to 3 and 4. Let's just say first Enoch chapter 19 verse 1 to 4. It indicates that the angel there is Uriel. My apologies for saying it was Michael earlier. Maybe that's where the confusion started. But just to continue on that, yes, the great harlot. The great harlot, the great harlot. I just want to read a scripture here indicating, or actually point out the scripture, and you can just do that in your leisure. Revelation 17 talks about the great harlot, and the great harlot is described as a harlot or a woman sitting on a scarlet beast full of blasphemous names, dressed in purple and scarlet, adorned with gold jewels and pearls, holding a cup full of abominations and filth of her fornication. She is explicitly called Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and the abominations of the earth. That is the great harlot. Then we have the Queen of the Coast, which usually deals with the trading of sea merchants. That's why they are called merchants. They chant to mermaids. That's where the term merchants come from. When you read the Bible, there's a section whereby Solomon tried to conduct sea trading in the region of Tyre, if I'm not mistaken. And his plans failed because he was a man anointed by God, and God could not allow him to conduct business because he had no covenant with the Queen of the Coast. The Queen of the Coast is the marine kingdom indicated in scripture, and only those that are of the marine kingdom, those who serve water spirits, and those who are in the kingdom of darkness can actually delve into the marine kingdom as well as other river entities. bear with me now. Right, that's according to the scriptures. When you look at the queen of, let's say the great harlot in this case, there is a very huge distinction, or very strange trait regarding her persona. It says she's holding a cup, a golden cup full of abominations and filled with fornication. Just to delve into this figure, the queen of the great harlot is actually what you call a half woman and half snake. She is huge in size. She's probably the size of a building in terms of her stature, and so is the queen of the coast. So what happens is there are certain principalities and powers that are situated in certain oceans, number one, and certain rivers. These are called principalities and powers. So they are in charge of the dominion and the spirits that contain and operate according to a certain region. For example, the queen or the great harlot might be situated in the Indian Ocean. She rules and has dominion in the Indian Ocean, and she has sub-agents and people that are doing her bidding here on earth. But she is in charge of fornication. She causes men to lust, to masturbate, to be deeply into pornography. That is why her cup is filled with abomination. That golden cup is actually filled with semen. Real semen, yes. So every time men are entertaining things such as pornography or masturbation and very grotesque forms of sexual immorality, they are appeasing her according to the principality she is in the kingdom of darkness where she's situated. That is why satanic agents of darkness and marine kingdom workers get powers from her, promotions from her, and elevations from her. That's the great harlot. Similar mandate is with the queen of Babylon. Now she trades with merchants and people who run trading over the sea. I would say you cannot be a billionaire like Aristotle Onassis, the late Aristotle Onassis, without having a particular covenant with the queen of Babylon. That is why the guy was a billionaire. He could trade properly as a merchant, selling spices, products, and other marine kingdom designated or approved products, whether it comes to clothing, whether it comes to perfumes, whether it comes to certain products that seem very exclusive and expensive but are actually mandated by the Babylonian kingdom of Satan. That's how it works. Certain rivers have certain spirits. They have dragons, they have mermaids, they have unigas wamanzi. All these are principalities and powers mentioned in the book of Ephesians, when it says we wrestle not against principalities and powers but against the rulers of darkness in heavenly places. Isaiah also talks about creatures in desolate places. I urge you Christians and people who delve into research to not only look at things that we have on television with a naked eye, but look at the synchronicities spiritually. Because Hollywood does try to create a certain depiction of what if, trying to make certain things appear as myth only, when in actual fact these things and entities exist. But knowledge and seeing the pattern about certain truths is very profound and necessary if you want to decipher the truth and the secrets about this world. That is my point. My brother, I was not trying to offend anyone with regards to the last video about Enoch, but do your own research as well and check what is indicated there. Thank you, people. might be a part 2.